Good evening. We have developing news to cover tonight. In the midst of ongoing tensions surrounding the 2026 midterms, a newly surfaced document has exposed what appears to be a coordinated effort by Attorney General Pam Bondi to influence election processes, prompting a sharp response from President Trump in the early hours. This development raises serious questions about oversight and integrity in our democratic systems. For those who value transparency in government, this is a story worth examining closely. My name is Jack Keane. Welcome to the program, presented as ever by Keane Reports. First, a quick note. I hadn't anticipated delivering this update today, so forgive the informal setup. Second, if you're following these critical issues, now let's dive in. The situation unfolded rapidly over the weekend, centered on a leaked internal communication that ties Bondi directly to initiatives aimed at scrutinizing voter data in key states. Reports indicate the document, verified by multiple congressional sources, outlines directives for federal access to state election records under the guise of compliance checks. This comes at a time when public trust in electoral fairness is already strained. Eyewitness accounts and digital records show the president's reaction came just after midnight in a series of online posts that have since drawn widespread attention. In one message, Trump urged Bondi to proceed without delay, emphasizing the need to address perceived irregularities from prior cycles, including 2020 and 2024. He stated in part that investigations into potential fraud must move forward aggressively to protect national credibility.
Sources close to the administration suggest this was not intended for public view, but an accidental release amplified the fallout. The backlash has been immediate. Democratic leaders, including Senator Elizabeth Warren, have condemned the move as an overreach. She remarked in a statement that granting federal authorities unchecked access to voter rolls could enable targeted suppressions, echoing tactics seen in past disputes. Warren added that this isn't about security, it's about control, and if unchecked, it could spread to battleground areas like Pennsylvania and Arizona. On the other side, Republican allies defend the actions as necessary safeguards. House Speaker Mike Johnson noted that ensuring compliance with federal laws, such as those under the Voting Rights Act, is a routine responsibility of the Justice Department. He dismissed the leak as a partisan distraction aimed at undermining legitimate oversight. To provide context, Pam Bondi, a longtime Trump associate and former Florida Attorney General, assumed her current role amid promises to tackle what the administration calls systemic vulnerabilities in elections. Her office has ramped up reviews in several states, citing anomalies in registration data. However, critics argue these efforts disproportionately target urban districts with diverse populations, potentially disenfranchising voters. A Wall Street Journal analysis highlights that similar federal interventions have historically led to purges affecting hundreds of thousands, often without clear evidence of wrongdoing. Adding to the intensity, Trump's late-night posts included criticisms of media coverage, labeling the leak as a fabricated attack on his team's work. One deleted entry reportedly pressed for swift prosecutions of those he views as adversaries, though the White House has clarified it as a private exchange gone public.
Legal experts, such as those from the Brennan Center for Justice, warn that blending election monitoring with prosecutorial powers risks eroding separations essential to democracy. As one analyst put it, this could set a precedent where the Justice Department acts as an extension of executive priorities rather than an independent enforcer. My thoughts on this: it's troubling to see such high-stakes maneuvers play out in real time. The president's visible frustration underscores the pressure building ahead of November, but it also highlights the need for accountability. If the goal is truly fair elections, then transparency in these processes should be non-negotiable. Instead, the secrecy around this plot suggests otherwise. This isn't isolated. It's part of a pattern where federal resources are deployed to question state autonomy, reminiscent of earlier controversies. The human impact can't be ignored. Voters in affected areas report growing anxiety about participation, fearing their information could be misused. Ultimately, this episode serves as a reminder of the fragility of our systems. As citizens, we must demand clarity from leaders on both sides. If Bondi's directives proceed without checks, it could alter the landscape for the midterms and beyond. For now, investigations are underway in Congress to authenticate the full scope of the leak. Stay tuned as more details emerge. In the meantime, reflect on what this means for our shared commitment to democratic principles. Consider reaching out to your representatives to voice concerns. Active engagement is how we safeguard progress. Thank you for joining me.